laughing throughout the whole intro.
I tried to hold it.
Well. You shouldn't laugh at Mikel's lineup like that. We shouldn't do that like that.
Laugh the whole way through.
I don't
even know what to start with right now, because the people are probably wondering, hold on, we've just lost 2-1 to Lens. Saka's come off injured. There's question marks about the tactics, and these four have started the pod. Where do we go from here?
Oh, mate.
Listen, I was late today. There you go. Like, you know what I mean? So,
you're not the only one.
Huh?
I was late as well.
Oh, was you?
But not as late as you.
This is slippery gear. He has to he's kept himself very quiet there.
No, I was fully transparent. I took my point deduction like an honourable man. So that Community Shield point I fought very hard for is.
Listen, there's no points deduction from us free. Like,
yes, there is.
To be late every now and then, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, like, you know. And I'm not taking any points deductions today. I've been out with my daughter for her birthday. Just run a little bit late, and I'm not taking no points deductions.
You losing 2 points, mate, not one.
Lee,
two. If I got a 2 point deduction,
you're getting a 2 point deduction.
You was over 10 minutes late.
No way. Am I taking a 2 point deduction?
We had a team intervention.
The next scumbag, and I'm going to call him a scumbag up there, has got away with daylight robbery, like, you know what I mean? So
which one? Me or Jordan?
There's only one scumbag when it comes to that, like, you know, I mean,
he's pointing to me.
I'm not having no points deduction.
Hold on. Whatever personal vendetta you got with me, I don't think it's unfair to take that out on Mr. Jordan and Mr. James.
I agree.
No, I'm not taking it out on them. Like, I don't think that us guys should.
Us.
Us guys.
I thought you wouldn't rob a bank with them. Now it's us.
Oh well, I wouldn't. They're not really friends. They're acquaintances like these days. You know what I mean? Like, you know. Listen, if they're stitching me up for 2 points, I'm going. I actually going to get my shotgun. That's what I'm going to do. And they're actually going to put on the old bullets, like, you know what I mean, like James and Jordan. Like,
so we had to record at 8. I arrived at 8:01. I lose a point. Poor on me. I'm sorry for keeping you all waiting.
James,
Lee,
it happens.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a point deducted. Lee, you rocked up at 8:11. That's 2 points deducted. And you're sitting
10 o'clock.
firmly.
What time scale you are? Are you in France or something? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's not 8, low. It's 10. Anyway, I thought I was early. 10 p.m. Apologies. I was 1 minute late. You were 11 minutes late.
Yes, right. And
so
I've told you those
wide.
reasons, and I also told that this pod was going to be at 10:30, but someone changed it. Oh, slippery Seamus up there probably changed it, knowing that I was at a restaurant today. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I'll take the points deduction, but I'm not going to say to my little Emily, like, you know, I've got to rush off and without cutting your cake because I get 2 points deducted. So,
that is very good of you. You're a fantastic dad.
Well, she didn't think that today. I've had a big rave over it. Like,
you're pissing everyone off tonight, innit?
Not me. I'm actually delighted because I've come out with something here. I might have lost a point, but Lee's lost 2. So I've actually gone above him on points in the table. So you know what? I see it as a point gained, quite frankly.
Two horse race.
Well, I was never in a title race. Look, I have no standards.
I think I've been late on one occasion, like, and I've having points deducted. I don't think you've been late that many times, James.
No,
look at him
that scumbag up there has been late more times than he's been on time, and he's had less fines than me and you, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? So
I know, but you know,
scandalous.
I had a 3 point deduction, Lee. I mean, I don't know what else you want. An arm and a leg next time. I don't know.
Right? I'll tell you what. Can I take a 3 point deduction then, like, and not be on the show? Is that fair? I'm happy to do that now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You want
Roy?
Kaz, in the background, can you give him permission to leave these scumbags to themselves? Like, you know?
1 minute he's trying to win James over, saying, "No, we're not normally late." Now you're calling everyone a scumbag, Lee.
Yeah.
You gotta take it on the chin, mate.
The game is the game.
The game is the game. The rules were set, and since the rules have been set,
now, well, I'm gonna bring my lawyer in. It ain't Soppy Sharoy. I'll tell you that now. Bringing someone that knows what they're talking about.
we look forward to hearing
He's
from
going to
him or
rock up
her.
with Julian.
Julian.
Julian will get me 66 points. I'll tell you My God.
All right, we'll see what changes have happened to the prediction table later on in the show when we're making the predictions for the Man City game. As usual, the prediction table will show. Just a reminder, we are also on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all of that. So you can catch up to us on the audio platforms. But yeah, enough of the banter. We've got some serious business to talk about. And by serious business, I mean Man City Sunday. But before that serious business, we've got the Champions League second group stage game loss at Lens to talk about. 2-1, Saka off injured, and a performance void of any excitement, void of any fluidity. What do you say, James?
Trash. We were trash.
Trash.
We were trash. I tweeted out that I'm not going to go overboard. It's not the end of the world. We can still have a very good season. Nothing's defined by this match. But we were trash. Some people, and I need to say all that stuff because some people think, oh, we weren't trash. If we took our chances, we would have. And why are you so negative? And see this one bad result, and then it's fine. It's cool. It's not the end of the world. But we were crap. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's it. Arsenal was shit. Lens were very good. I will say that. Like, I reflect on that performance, and like Lens absolutely played their part in us being bad, but. Yeah, we were bad. We were very bad.
Yeah, they took advantage of a poor performance from Arsenal.
Yeah.
But Lee, I want to start with you because you was there. You've only just got back this morning, hence why we didn't record this morning at 8 a.m. We actually moved it to 10 p.m. from Mr. Lee Judges, but he's moaning about the time. But yeah, Lee, you was there. How was
it? Dogs up there, I actually said I'd rather go for that time, but I actually said I'd rather go that time because I'm going out to my daughter's birthday today, but that fell on deaf ears. But there you go.
Oh, Lens away. How was it?
Up until the Arsenal got involved, fantastic. So, I'd say as soon as Mikel gets involved, it all goes wrong, doesn't it? But listen, I'm going to say this now. The experience was fantastic. The atmosphere was incredible. I've got to say that it was off the scale. I don't know if you could appreciate what it was like on TV or whatever, but it was very, very hostile. The Tannoy fella was on it all the time, and my God, they were on it. We got there around about 5 o'clock, so it's a 5 o'clock. It's a 9 o'clock kickoff over there, so that's 4 hours before the game. It was buzzing like it was 20 minutes before the game. I've not seen I've been to a lot of games, European Champions League games and whatever. I've not seen it like that anywhere. They were so up for it, excited, flares going off. The town was buzzing, everything about that, And I actually got there thinking, it was I thought comfortable, and I think like you said, Turkish, it was going to be comfortable. And I thought to myself, I'll take a 2-1 or a 1-0 at this moment in time because you could see it was going to be a real difficult night. And I have to say, I thought the first 20 minutes we'd done it really. We'd done everything that we should have. Got the goal, and then I thought we was in control, and then we just shot ourselves in the foot. And the one thing that I'm going to say now, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the one thing that I've took away from the game is, don't underestimate the Champions League. Do not underestimate it. The quality is there. I thought they were very, very good. Lens, best team that we've played this season by a long chalk. And the finishing was incredible. If you mess up, you get punished. And that is something that we've got to learn from because we had chances in that game and we did not take. And if we'd have took those chances, I think it would have been a different night for us. I think we was 1-0 up and Kai Havertz had a difficult chance, but a chance to make it 2-0. At 2-1, Kai Havertz puts Trossard through. He does exceptionally well, miskicks it. We had the Tomiyasu one, and I think the Nelson one. We had more than enough chances to get something from the game. But I'm with James. I thought it was a poor performance from start to finish. I felt we got the team selection wrong. I thought the way that we managed the game and the substitutions, I think 2 players come out with credit. You know, if you're going into a Champions League game, guys, you've got to have 9 players playing well and 2 maybe having an off day, not the other way around. And that's how it was. There's 2 players come out of that game with credit. The rest of them, and I'm sorry, you can include the substitutions in that, because I think the substitutions, Smith Rowe was okay, but other than that, I thought the substitutions made no impact. I thought it was an abysmal, poor night. And do you know what? It's been coming, boys.
Who are the 2 you give credit for? You give credit to?
Declan Rice and Tommy Asu.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Lee,
Yeah.
I wanna ask you, because just a bit earlier on you said don't take Champions League teams for granted or something along those lines. But isn't this indicative of a bigger issue with Arteta? Because it's not just Champions League teams that have surprised us like this. Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon, Villarreal.
Turkish, we was talking about it afterwards, and you know, like, because we was obviously kept in for about an hour and 20 minutes, and there was I have to say, the fans yesterday we were treated really poorly. I have to say that, from the ticketing side of it to being let out, they made us all go down to one gate and then opened another gate the other end, and you know, and it was no communication and everything like that. But you get talking afterwards, and one of the questions, you know, when was the last time we had a decent away performance in Europe? And no one could answer it. Certainly not under Mikel. I think someone said
Slavia Prague, the 4-1 probably. Was it 4-1? Remember when we needed to go there, having drawn 1-1 at the Emirates? I think that's honestly the last one.
Yeah, like, you know, someone said when
there were no fans in the grounds.
Yeah.
Who was the game we played? I think it was Seville away, and Aubameyang and Lacazette scored, I think 2 each.
Emery was manager.
Valencia.
Was it Valencia? Yeah.
Yeah. But so certainly under Mikel, it's not been convincing. You know what I mean? Europa League last season, every game wasn't convincing. And I just felt yesterday, I don't know if you felt that on watching it and all that, like, I was very, very impressed with Lons. Now, people keep saying they're 15th in the league and all that, like, but that, you know, it's a different thing when you're up for a game. You know, we was up for the game against PSV because we're, you know, the fans and everything like that. But, you know, that we made a mistake. Raya makes a mistake, you know, and we 1-0 up in a game where it's so hostile. You know what I mean? The noise and everything like that. When you're 1-0 up, just change your tactics. Just go long and don't give away. Don't give them chances. You know, like, you got the goal. Why try and make you know, like, it difficult? And once we made that mistake, the finish was unbelievable. I've watched it again today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a fantastic finish, and we had a warning just before their second goal. They cut it back and put it wide. The second time, bang, and it's in. I don't think they had that many chances after that, if I'll be real. I don't really remember Raya making a lot of saves, but clinical.
But they were also brave. Like, they played a back 5, but they weren't just sitting back and parking the bus. They got stuck into us. They were forcing errors. That Raya pass, because we analysed it today, like, yes, it's a bad pass to Tomiyasu, but there's actually still quite a lot that needs to go wrong from that pass, because Tomiyasu really should get to it first. I'm not blaming it. It is poor from Raya, but the way Machado, the left back, steams in front to win that ball first, and then perfectly knocks it into Wai, who takes the perfect touch and knocks it into Thomason. And we got punished for a mistake, but they were really brave and direct. And you say we started the game well, and I kind of agree in terms of we weathered the storm. We went 1-0 up, just in terms of, like, we kind of fought through some difficult moments, but there were a lot of clearances in the box. There was a lot of crosses we had to deal with. We weren't finding fluidity really till we got that first goal. And even then we didn't really find it. It was just a slightly better.
No, I agree.
They stuck it on us. That's what was so good about them.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you know, the atmosphere, you know, was electric in there. It was. And I felt that, you know, that you knew in that first 10, 15 minutes, it was going to be honest, James, you know what I mean? But to ride that storm and go 1-0 up, you're thinking, right, good, solid job. And then I felt we kept them at arm's length. And then we just we shoot ourselves in the foot. I have to say, you know, as poor as we were, I walked away and said that they were the better team.
Yeah, they were.
They were the better team. You have to hold your hands up. And, you know, it wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day tactically. You know, the argument we're going to obviously talk about. You know, the Saka. You know, I never wanted him starting in that game. It's a pathetic decision. I have to say that, like, and I'll say it again. And you know, what I mean, you can call me Lee Ramsdale. You can call me whatever you want, like, you know what I mean. I'm real now. I don't see a significant difference between the two goalkeepers. I don't. It's not this massive gulf to say one's better than the other. And I see that yesterday. And for the last 2 years, we've been looking at it and going, we need a proper number 9. That was so evident yesterday, because not only with our lack of finishing, but the lack of, when we was 2-1 down, of a plan B. There just wasn't one.
To be fair, listen, it's all tongue in cheek. When I said Lee Ramsdale in the WhatsApp group, it's tongue in cheek, because I think you bring up a legitimate point in terms of Arteta's made a big decision, and we'll start with the goalkeeper because we mentioned the first goal and the mistake. Arteta's made a big decision that a lot of people are failing or trying to understand. I do think Raya is the better keeper, just from what I know of him and what I've seen of him distribution wise, but he's been trusted to replace an Aaron Ramsdale that's a fan favorite, and Aaron Ramsdale that's done a lot more good than bad along the last couple of years. And Aaron Ramsdale that deserves to start at least the first Champions League game, because he was a big part of getting us back into it. But I also call for the club to be ruthless. Every great team, every great club now and in history have been ruthless. So Arteta's made that decision, but I'm going to couple up the mistake that Raya made, because firstly, the mistake he made against Lons, you could see it because I watched it back. He was quite nonchalant on the ball. He just seemed like he's going to curl it round to Tomiyasu. He didn't really focus on what he was doing. He just thought, yeah, I'm going to play it. Not too much conviction behind it. And we got pipped off. I'm going to couple that up with the Tottenham one. I didn't make much of the Tottenham one at the time because I feel like we still had 2 moments where we could have averted conceding that first goal. But the reality is, he's had 2 moments that are not too dissimilar to Ramsdale's moments over the last couple of years that fans like myself try and justify in Mikel Arteta making this decision because of the fine margins. So I think you raise a legitimate point. Jordan, I'll bring you in now because we've started with the keeper. I haven't heard from you yet. But do you think we shouldn't focus on this as much as we might be doing now? Because it was bound to happen, in the sense that the first big mistake he makes, we was always going to ask why the change was made or why Ramsdale wasn't starting. Or do you think it's a legitimate concern?
No, I don't. I've said all along, I found it really, really weird how the fan base, and I don't care for what other people think about our keeper situation, but the fan base were saying like, yeah, I'm glad that Raya's starting, as if there's some huge difference between Raya and Ramsdale. I've said from the get-go, I don't really care of the 2 who starts, because for me, the difference is the differential is very, very small. I think Raya's kicking is slightly better. I think Ramsdale's shot stopping, is slightly better. But then I think Ramsdale's kicking is very good. And Raya's a good shot stopper. So the differentials are so small, I don't really care who starts. What I just don't understand this whole kind of almost campaign that Raya's a significant upgrade on Ramsdale. He's not. They're both tier 2 goalkeepers. You can have your preference, but let's not pretend like there's some massive... You're not signing Edison. You're not signing Allison. There's not that gap between the 2 goalkeepers. So for me, the fan base, and people can talk about, I've spoken about Raya is the rightful one. I'm okay with that. But for me, we've seen in this mistake alone that he's not flawless either. He's not world class. He's a top goalkeeper. I think will go on to be a good keeper for us. But he's not.
It's more so the decision maker I'm talking about, because I don't disagree with what you just said there. It is fine margins. One might think one's better, someone else might think the other's better. But surely, after such a ruthless decision, the player has to kind of, vindicate the decision of the manager and prove that the manager was right in making this small change. And so far, has he done it?
Well, he's played 4 games now. Because Ramsdale came for the League Cup. 3 or 4 games?
5.
Is it 5 games?
2 Champions Leagues, Everton, Tottenham, and Bournemouth.
Okay, so you're right. So 5 games. In those 5 games, he's made 2 errors. I would say the Spurs goal and the goal last night.
Which Spurs goal are we talking about? The first one.
The first goal.
Came back post, and then instead of tipping it out for a corner,
he's got to tip that out,
and then makes a save, and then it goes out. It comes back in. Saka leaves Maddison. So a few things happened that I didn't want to dwell on that too much.
That was almost akin to David De Gea last year at United, because he'd make a great recovery save. People wouldn't attribute the eventual goal to him, but the reason why the goal came in the first place is because of his poor kicking or his failure to parry out. Do you know what I mean? So I attributed that goal to Raya. You got to deal with that if you're a top goalkeeper. But 2 mistakes in 5 games is not really territory for me to think Mikel Arteta, come on, get him out, back, bring Ramsdale back in. If there's more, then I'm looking at Mikel Arteta. But the problem Mikel Arteta's got now is he lied to us. He came with this whole nonsense about I've got 2 top goalkeepers because I want to have tactical flexibility between the 2 keepers. That was clearly a lie. You wanted to phase out Ramsdale, as is your right, but now you can't put Ramsdale back in because it's clear now that Raya was the person you wanted to get in the first place, and you don't want to dent his confidence then now. So I think the way he's handled it has not been great, but I think we should stick with Raya for the foreseeable future until things really, really go belly up. But my main thing is I just didn't like the rhetoric around the decision, which for me was weird because at no point over the summer was anybody saying, "Oh, Ramsdale, yeah,
actually,
maybe."
I have to give credit to Chris Hudson, who from the get-go in the summer, he actually said, "I want another keeper to compete and push Ramsdale." He was the only one that said it. So you are right generally that no one was really calling for it. But anytime someone says no one called for it, I always think of Chris because I was surprised.
There's another, Mo, who's on Twitter often. I think we've talked to him a couple of times.
Yeah.
He called it a while ago, saying I think Ramsdale might get replaced. But you're right, but it was a very small minority. So I sort of remember the ones.
Was that the priority though? That's my argument. That is my argument.
I think. Yeah, go on.
You know what, Lee? It wasn't the priority. Hence, why the decision to do it should probably be under further scrutiny because it wasn't a priority, and you made that decision to improve the fine margins. Oh, sorry, James.
That is where the point of criticism comes. Was it a priority? Did it need to be done? What I find strange is people kind of calling for Ramsdale to play, and then their reasoning is there's hardly anything in it between Ramsdale and Raya. So why isn't Ramsdale playing? We've just answered it because you yourself don't even believe there's much in it. So there you go. Arteta thinks Raya's better, and you're not even convincing me that you think Ramsdale is. There's your answer. But the point that Lee brings up is the key one. 30 million, because we know it's going to be made an obligation. So 30 million's gone on this goalkeeper. I think that's such a good transfer fee for a good goalkeeper. But when you've not picked up a Kudus, when you've not picked up a proper number 8, when you've not picked up a backup striker, I'm not saying you get those players necessarily for 30 million, but that 30 million helps, right? You've not even got a backup for Timber. Let's remember that, and even now I sort of sweat over the fitness of Tomiyasu all the time. That's where the big thing is like, really? Like, did this really need to be done over other positions? And there's things like people are saying that they don't see much of a difference. I think in terms of performance, I agree. Like in terms of, when you do player ratings, I'm not seeing Raya do anything that makes us think, wow, he's been 9s and 10s. He's been amazing. But he definitely seems to come into the centre-back position more than Ramsdale. I'm being deadly serious. I don't know if you noticed, but Gabriel and Saliba split all the way, and Raya comes all the way off his line, and he's playing as a ball-playing centre-back, so that we get more people in forward roles. Yeah. Ramsdale never did that for us. So is that instruction because Arteta trusts Raya to do it where he didn't trust Ramsdale? That ultimately leads to their first goal. The other thing he's doing is he seems to be claiming crosses far higher up in the penalty area. Again, we didn't see it against Lens because we were just crap at, we were defending a lot of crosses, whatever, but in the Everton games and the Bournemouth games, I see him often on the penalty area claiming balls. Ramsdale wasn't as proactive, but I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. So I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel here to try and see what they're doing differently. But it does seem that Arteta is using him slightly differently. Is it benefiting us? Not convinced.
Just on your point about the kind of priorities of spend on players in the summer, James. I mean, to be fair to the club, I'm just kind of posing this point. In terms of getting value for money, they may argue that getting Raya, a rising top goalkeeper, for 30 mil is a better deal to do than 80, 90 mil for a Kudus. They might have seen... Sorry, go on.
But Kudus went for 45
in the end.
Okay, well, I'm just making the point.
I get your point.
We wanted the striker. Is there a striker on the market right now you could have got for value?
That's the thing, Jordan, and that's the thing I will stick up for Arteta about. Maybe the forward is not available like Raya was. Raya become available. Maybe the forward they want is available, but in January that forward is available, and it's got to be done.
But I struggle with this because I'm so sorry, Tosh, because the best deal for us is the deal that takes us closer to winning the league. Whether it's a £200 million deal, I get what I absolutely get what you're saying, and I know that what I'm saying isn't the way football clubs will look at it. But I just don't believe that Pedro Neto isn't a good signing for us. I don't believe Mohamed Kudus wouldn't have given us depth in 3 positions that we needed. I don't believe that any of Szoboszlai, McAllister, Tonali, whoever weren't good additions. I just don't. Sorry, it sounds like I'm moaning about the Raya deal. I'm actually happy with signing David Raya. I'm not on one mistake saying we've got that wrong. I put myself in the mindset of people who are saying, was it a priority? And I'm arguing for that case. I love David Raya. I'm really happy we have him. But that's where I do sympathise with that argument.
Well, I think I do think though that the club spent a lot of money in the window, and I just feel like we're all kind of saying that the Raya signing was a bit weird, considering we all feel we needed another striker, some more firepower. I just feel we've all said for the last 6 months, year, that we trust the clubs. Generally, we trust the club's judgment on transfers and deals. Right, they've got significantly more right than wrong.
They've earned it.
Right, so they didn't go for Kudus. If they didn't go for, I don't know, Neto, whatever it may be, do we not have to kind of just trust that was for a reason?
And that is what I'm doing. Yeah.
And so am I, Jordan. But and let's move it on now to the other elephant in the room, the Kai Havertz one. You know what I mean? This is now getting beyond a joke now. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing ruthlessness in other areas. I don't think, by the way, been slaughtered a little bit for it. I thought Havertz done all right in the first half, fine margins. If he takes his chance, which the volley, we go 2-0 up. I thought he broke up a lot of play, and he also was the one that drove forward to give Trossard the chance. But when we're 2-1 down and we need players, he went missing, guys. He wasn't there, and you're paying £65 million for him. And where's the ruthlessness with this? And this is my big beef at the moment. And I do think that it's going to cause problems with the squad and everything like that. You know what I mean? It's just, you're actually even saying like, oh yeah, it's good for him to have a penalty. Like even Arteta said it's good. Why is it good? Because he's, you're actually admitting that he's been not very good. But you're still playing him, Mikel, week in, week out, and you're admitting, that was great to see.
Did you hear Dan Potts?
Stuff.
Did you hear Dan Potts on the watch along?
No, I haven't got
around 85 minutes. He went, well, that penalty's done Havertz a load of good.
Well, there you go. I spoke to Dan today.
He was unplayable today, or something. He was sublime.
We're off the radar. I didn't think he was as bad as what Dan made it out today. To be fair, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for 65 million, when there's 4 or 5 other players you could have got, he has got to come to the part, particularly in the Champions League, because that's one of the reasons we bought him, because of his Champions League experience.
Agree.
In the end, they've had to take him off because he melted, and I'm so disappointed by that.
Do we think that Partey will be fit for Sunday?
I think you've got to take the gamble, Jordan.
Because I'm just wondering if Partey is fit. I think if Arteta picks Havertz, or what he does with Havertz, I think will be very telling. Biggest game of the season so far. I know we'll get to City a bit later on, but if he picks Havertz in this game on the weekend, we lose. And that's not because I don't rate Havertz, and I've defended him more than anybody else. But I just feel that if he play with 10 men, which it feels like at times we're doing with Havertz on the pitch, we lose. But if he brings Partey back in, even as Lee says, at 80% fit, that for me will tell me that he's thinking, okay, I can't trust you right yet or just yet. in the big games.
But you know what? That's a problem in itself for me because listen, there's a few things we're going to talk about. We talked about the Raya and Ramsdale one. We're talking about the Kai Havertz one now, and we're going to, move on to the Saka stuff soon. Anyway, I think it all falls under, Mikel Arteta decision making, and I think that's the core topic right now. I think with Kai Havertz, if you don't start him against City, it further emphasizes my and a lot of fans' point about why did you buy him in the summer? Because
100%.
after a title challenge against City, you do not buy a player that's not ready. You buy players that are ready. We've got a lot of players that are young. They need time. They need experience. We've got enough of that. This summer was about buying ready-made players that are ready to come in and do a job now. So Jordan, as much as I agree, I don't want him to start on Sunday. If he doesn't, I don't know what's worse, not starting him because you've realized so early on that you've made a mistake, or starting him at the expense of the team's morale, chemistry, fluidity, and all of that. Because I think it comes down to that now. I think it's a lose-lose situation. The only win is if Havertz actually starts doing something on the ball.
Well, Arteta's got to chalk it down as, all right, I thought you'd become what I needed you to be a bit quicker. I thought you'd adapt a bit quicker. It's not happening. Take you at the firing line, go with the best 11 to beat Man City, and hope that as the season progresses, Kai Havertz eventually gets to whatever Arteta believes he's going to be. My worry is that he looks so far from anything we need him to be. Honestly, the closest thing he looks to a genuine, really useful option for this squad is as a target man. I never thought I'd say that because I never thought he had the height, but I never really thought he had the strength and the presence to do it. But he seems to win a lot of headers, and he's actually got a decent kind of first touch from the ball in the air. Kind of that's like as much as I'm sort of seeing of him in an Arsenal shirt. Yesterday, I was watching some highlights of that first half. He's so far from the action. Like he's so high up the pitch. Like Rice and Zinchenko are looking to combine, and Xhaka will get into those pockets really well. I can't believe I just said that line. Granit Xhaka last season was getting into those pockets for Arsenal really, really well. Never thought I'd say that about him as a player. He did, and I thought Havertz would actually be quite suited to doing that. So is he not doing it because Arteta's instruction is? Do you know the closest we got to giving the ball was actually when he was making runs beyond? That was the closest when we had to us actually feeding him in a way where he might look dangerous and have something in our attacking third. So I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I know you guys all disagree with me when I said it. I mean, that's fair enough. But I saw it again yesterday. He's hiding. He's picking up positions where he can't get the ball.
I don't disagree.
When I said it after the PSV game, I thought you lot all disagreed. Thought I was being harsh. He's hiding, and not in all games, but in this game and the PSV game, he's picking up positions. He's never going to get the ball in, and he knows he can't get the ball. He's hiding.
Is it fair to say?
He's hiding.
Is it fair to say in possession he's hiding, but out of possession he's weirdly?
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
You know what, James? You make a great point there. I think when you're out of possession, it's easier to. I know this sounds silly, but you win a few tackles, break up a few bits of play. It's I've done that very, very well. But then it's when you've got to be brave, when you've got to have the ball in difficult situations. He doesn't do it. And I agree. I felt yesterday his defensive play was pretty good. I felt there was on a couple of occasions he broke things up and all that. But then, there was 2 or 3 occasions, get the ball dry. He done it well for the Trossard thing, but there was on 3 or 4 occasions he had the chance to drive at their defence, and he turned away and just played an easy ball back to Zinchenko or a ball on the left-hand side.
Always easy.
Lee, the funny thing is, and we keep comparing him to Xhaka because he's taken his position in the team. The irony is that if he was doing the opposite as fans, we'd forgive him. So if he was scoring goals, but defensively he was a liability, we'd be a bit more sympathetic. And that was Xhaka. Xhaka was that for many years. Defensively, it was always him that was our position, always him that gave penalties away, always him that costed us goals. But he was good for a goal. He was good for an assist. Havertz is the opposite. Defensively, he's actually doing a decent job. Off the ball, he's doing a decent job. But on the ball, he's offering nothing.
It's slow to play down and all Turkish, don't you think? I think it's
100%.
Slows it down.
But the off the ball stuff doesn't, it doesn't. Roy Keane said it once upon a time. That's your job. Your job is to work hard. And that's the bare minimum. So I don't care if you win 2 aerial duels in the game and make 3 tackles. Yeah, I don't give a shit. You was bought to be an attacker. Mikel Arteta pretty much emphasized you're brought into midfield to aid the attack. We bought Declan Rice because Declan Rice is by far the better destroyer out of him, Partey, Xhaka, Jorginho, etc. We bought a better destroyer to protect 2 attack-minded 8s. That's what we done this summer. And in the end, we're giving Havertz praise because on the ball, we're seeing nothing. And at least off the ball, he wins 2 headers a game or 3 headers. It's not good enough. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I can't believe Mikel Arteta signed Kai Havertz. I can't believe it. I hope you lot are right. And my patience is gone, but the season's still going. There's no transfer window. So as much as my patience is gone and a lot of fans out there might be thinking the same thing, we've got to hope that it works because the next transfer window is January. The transfer window after that opens in June. We haven't got a chance to think past Kai Havertz now. There's no selling Kai Havertz in January and there's no upgrading on Kai Havertz in January. The club won't do that. So we've got to hope for the best. You're right. But when James said, or was it James or Lee, you know, fans debate about his best position. Let's be honest here. From what we've seen in the first 10, 11 games, however many minutes he's played in them 10, 11 games, he's closer to looking like he's not a footballer than a striker or an 8 or a 10 or a midfielder. He looks closer to not being a footballer.
I will say in his defence, he wasn't the worst yesterday. He wasn't the worst yesterday. But I'm looking at it now like there's only one position for him to play on Sunday.
He wasn't the worst yesterday, but he's
apart from the apart from the bench. I think you either play him up top.
I didn't want to say it,
or you know, I'm at the stage now where Mikel plays 60 minutes Partey, and then Jorginho swaps it over, like, you know what I mean. So you can get Rice doing what he wants in midfield, and then maybe playing him up in place of Eddie. But if you're going to give me a choice to play Eddie or him up front, I'm probably going to go Eddie at the moment.
I think that's our secret weapon, Declan Rice. I know he's playing brilliantly as a 6 and he's, you know, been breaking up play, destroying. He's looked a lot better on the ball than I think any of us thought he was. The closest thing we have to replicating what we did last season is letting Rice be the box-to-box.
Yeah,
you know, he will play it in a similar way to Xhaka. He'll get deep and support Partey. He can break through the lines. Look at the goals he scored for West Ham last season and tell me that that wasn't what Granit Xhaka did for us, crashing the back post, you know, getting shots from that kind of left half pocket as well, overlapping and underlapping, driving with the ball. He actually would do that better than Xhaka.
Yeah, energy levels like machine
carrier. He'd get up and down so well. He'd imagine being able to press with Ødegaard, who does it brilliantly, Jesus, who does it brilliantly, Rice, who's just an ultimate ball winner. And then if you beat that, who's waiting for you? Thomas Partey there as well. Like, that is the level of defensive, like the core I want in the middle. Jesus, Ødegaard, Partey, Rice, Saliba, Gabriel. That is solid. That is what you call a spine. And I think Rice can, for all this whole we didn't sign the 8 we needed and, you know, it was negligent in the summer and all that, we've actually got a potential solution there. I also think, and I know that we're on to like our 4th solution for where our fluidity gone. First, it's Zinchenko not being there. Then it's Jesus not leading the line. Then it's Kai Havertz in the 8. My 4th is also, let's not underestimate what Thomas Partey gave us on the ball. His kind of guile and ability to turn out of places that you thought, oh, that was a clever turn. Oh, he's lost a man there and he's beat that press and he's played that into a nice pocket. Even though Rice has shown an element of that, Partey was just elite at it. And I want to have them both. So get them in midfield. Get them in midfield together. Please.
Yeah, for me, you're right, but I have doubts whether Partey is in. Obviously, he can't be in the long-term plans of Arteta, considering age and contract length and so on. But honestly, I think Rice is the upgrade on Partey, or the midfielder to come in, because Partey will eventually leave the club this summer. And when you see the season starting with Partey at right back, listen, Gabriel might have wanted a move. Gabriel might have said something that pissed Arteta off, hence being dropped. But that doesn't stop Tomiyasu stepping into a position. We still had him available. So
slightly concerning that Arteta, you know, saw how well we did last season, sold Xhaka, replaced Ramsdale, started the season without Gabriel, but okay, he's won his place back in the team. Signed Timber, so you wonder if he were fit, who he was coming to take a place off. I think my point is, why is he so quick to change so much?
I do get hints of more arrogance from Arteta this year than I ever have in the last 3 years. Things like 43 formations, things like, I wanted to sub keepers off, a couple of times in the last couple of years. I feel like he's really feeling himself at the moment, or he was.
Things like I signed Ramsdale when no one else believed in him. That was a quote. Yeah, all right, but come on, that doesn't change the now, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it's what did I say? Over coaching, over tinkering, overthinking. That's what I think it is, and he's learned off a man in Pep Guardiola that is the master of that. He's the master of that. But they also have star quality in their side. Now, this ain't me saying Saka's not a star, or Jesus is not a star, or Declan Rice is not a star. But when shit ain't going your way, I don't feel like our stars have the freedom to express themselves. There's no impulsiveness anymore. I mentioned it to James. In the first half, there was 2 opportunities at 1-0 to break out. And one pass between the lines and a simple pass at that would have meant a 3-on-3 on attack. Instead of doing that, Jesus was one time, and I forgot who the second one was. Instead of doing that, we reset. We went all the way back to Raya or all the way back to Saliba or Gabriel. But that is by design, like James said on the last show. That is by design. So Arteta really needs to come out of this, ego moment and understand that what he's done so far this season in terms of the changes he's made, none of them have justified. And that includes Declan Rice. As much as I'm saying Declan Rice has been our best player this season, the fact that Havertz has been such a letdown means our midfield doesn't look nowhere near as good as it did last season. So the reality is even Declan Rice's good games so far are going under the radar because overall we're not fluid at all.
I don't normally listen to you guys as fan cams, but I listened to your fan cam, Turkish, and I agree with all of it. It was spot on. I thought the point's been about how we're playing. Something's not quite right. I thought you nailed it, and I don't think we're playing to our best. And that's not the end of the world. We're into the next round of the League Cup. It's not a disaster in the Champions League, and we're in the top 5 currently in the league. So if we're not playing well, we're playing okay. We're just not playing as good as we were last year. I think that's also a big problem. We're comparing our start this year to last year. Last year was a freak. What we did last year, we have to but that's not going to happen. But we can be better, and I think we need to be better because, big things are on the horizon.
But also, I think Mikel has to take a lot of blame for decision making as well.
100%.
The decision making yesterday was baffling. And I'll tell you why. You're going into the game against Man City. Just forget about that game on the side. You already know you're without Martinelli. There's obviously you're out without Martinelli. So what's the next? What do you do not want to be going into that game without Saka as well? Okay, right? You don't want to be doing that, So that to play Saka yesterday, mind blowing in my opinion, right? When then people turn around and go, well, it didn't really matter this game. We can get well if it doesn't really matter, then why have you risked that? Then the other side of it is after that, I think the next decision has got to go down as even worse than that. Is why leave Ben White out of this game? Ben White rested. I'm not having that. Dropped, maybe. I don't know. Why? I don't know. What happens then is you drop Ben White, who's going to have 2 weeks resting the next week ago. Like all the next 3 alongside him have all got international coming up where they're not going to get a break. He is. So why rest him? And then what you're doing, as soon as Saka breaks down, the whole of the right side breaks down because you've not got Ben White, you've not got Saka. That then causes implications on Odegaard, where he has them doing that sort of thing there. The whole right side was taken out yesterday, and I'm baffled by it. I'm absolutely baffled by that decision and the decisions that he's making at the moment. And I do think there's a little bit of a problem now of how to rotate players and when to rotate them and all that. I think it's an art, I'm going to say, and I think Pep gets that pretty much spot on most weeks. I don't think Arteta's got it and gets how he's doing it at this moment in time. I don't think that he actually thinks to the next game or whatever, like, you know what I mean? I just don't understand why you would rotate Ben White, who's got a break coming up, and not do the same with someone like Saka. I think it's incredible, like, you know, absolutely incredible. And then, you know, you're looking at it today was I'm now thinking maybe Eddie was rested because he's thinking of him on Sunday.
Of course he is.
I'm just getting baffled by decisions.
Eddie's leading the line. On the
Yeah,
way.
I think that he is.
Don't you
I
worry.
think that he is.
You might as well add the Vieira coming on for Saka substitution as one of the strange decisions, because then after the game he's talking about maybe a lack of pace or width, but we have Reece Nelson. So what was the decision about? 30 minutes in, Saka gets injured, a player you shouldn't have started. I agree with you completely on that, Lee. I don't agree with Robbie. I think there's games where you can rest and you can protect some players. And Lon's away, even if Saka didn't hobble off against Bournemouth, I would have said this is an opportunity to give a Reece Nelson a run out. But then you bring on Vieira, and then the lack of width and pace essentially nullifies any sort of attacking intent we have.
The worst thing about Turkish is you could see after 5 minutes he wasn't fit. And I don't know if you've seen this. Another thing which I'm not happy about, I don't know if you see it when he come out halfway through the warm-up, Saka. The warm-up was already going and he comes out. So they're already doing the warm-up and he joins in the warm-up. That's not right.
Yeah.
I actually said, what's he doing? Well, you know, he ain't even joined in the warm-up, like, you know what I mean? He come out about 5 minutes after the warm-up was going. You know what I mean? Like, and all the players were out there, by the way, 5 minutes before that, kicking around, doing little things and all that before they go and do that separate warm-up. They do a separate warm-up where the starting 11 go and do their bit and then the sub staying there. He come running out. They joined in and he wasn't even ready for it. I thought it was a shocking decision yesterday. Like, I really do. You could see he wasn't fit. And, you know, I get it to a certain degree. I'm pretty sure Jordan's going to come in. If he's 100% fit, you play him. I get that. But there was no way he was 100% fit.
But Lee, you're not a physio. You've not studied. What the hell do you have to study?
Just physiotherapy.
Physiotherapy. That's a good one. Yeah, that's probably the one you should study.
Maths.
That'll go a long way. Whatever it is you have to study, I haven't studied it. I'm not sure a degree in Italian and business is going to help me understand what's going on with Bukayo Saka. But so I can't have an opinion on it. Sorry, people.
Well, I can, and I understand why the fan base are pissed off, but I don't want to talk for you two, Turkish and Lee, but the tone I was getting from the fan base as to why they were saying we shouldn't play but Bukayo Saka on in France was because the City game is the important one. That's the big one we needed for that game. Who the hell do we think we are to be resting players for the Champions League? We're talking like we're some big boy in Europe. We did 20 years in the Champions League and did sod all. We've been missing from the big party for nearly 7 years now. We've worked hard to get back into the Champions League. I want to qualify for this group as soon as possible. Saka, okay, if it comes out that he was not fit, I take it back. But I'm going to give Arteta the benefit of the doubt that he was fit enough to start that game, and I'm very comfortable with that because Saka's part of our best team. We couldn't even beat Saka with them. I know he came off after half an hour, but this idea, Lee said at one of his first points. Go on, Lee, go on.
You're saying play your best team, yeah? That's what you're saying, yeah? Saka plays in your best team, yeah?
Yeah.
So why is he resting Ben White then?
I don't know why he's playing Ben. I don't know why he's resting Ben White, but I'm saying
you can't play that. Why are you playing your best? That's what
let me tell you why. So Bukayo Saka is unequivocally in Arsenal's best 11. The gap between Bukayo Saka and the next substitute is huge. The gap between
Lee
Ben
dropped
White
a bomb and then just down a pint.
Yeah, the gap between Ben White and the other right backs is not huge. So Ben White not starting for me is not a good decision.
And then
but it's not terminal. I know he did. It's not terminal. But Bukayo Saka not starting could be terminal, and it turned out to be terminal anyway. The point I'm making is that we had to win that game. Lons, as you said, Lee, they're not a joke. I don't know why we as Arsenal fans thought. You all predicted Arsenal wins. Like Lons is some idiot team.
So did you.
What? No, I would a draw. I went draw because I don't think that.
If we can't, but you know what, Jordan?
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. If we can't expect to be beating Lons, what are we doing out here? Yeah.
Oh, exactly that. Because if the team 15th in the French league, you can't. And I'm not saying I look at them as a joke because I think that's a bit harsh. But if you can't look at the team 15th in Ligue 1 and say we can rest Saka for that one and pick up 3 points,
Turkish. As Lee said earlier on, I would probably say 90% of the teams in the Champions League are of a certain caliber, certain level. There's a couple teams that you're like, how the hell are they there? Do you know what I mean? They might be the winners of the Russian league or something, with all due respect. Lons are not PSG, but they're not a joke. They're not a joke. I know.
Newcastle right now either.
Well, there is that to be fair. But the point I'm making
Newcastle
is that
have been out of the competition. Even that thing you said, Jordan, about us being out of it when we was in it for 20, none of that is relevant today. Today, you create your own history. Forget what happened.
I hear that, but the point I'm making is that there was an arrogance from the Arsenal fan base going into this game, like because it's not a glamour team, we should be rocking up there and getting 3 points. And my rationale was that if Saka was fit, you got to play him because we can't. When we're not anybody to say that we're Real Madrid or we're Liverpool, we can rock up to Lons and we should get 3 points. We have not been in this competition for a long time, so every game is a difficult game for us, especially away.
He lasted 20 minutes, and you could see from the get-go. I don't care about physios with A levels and whatever. I see the eye, right? And he was
That's
not
what it takes.
fit.
GCSE and physiotherapy.
Everything you need.
He was not fit. You could see that, like, you know what I mean? And do you know what? Sometimes you can have your A levels and your O levels and your degrees and whatever. The eye test is the best test, and you could tell that he wasn't right. It's a poxy decision from whoever. But like, listen, when it comes to the medical staff, they're about as good as a camera with its lens on. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, they're not that bloody good. You know what I mean? Like, because I've seen players playing that shouldn't have been playing. You know what I mean? Like injuries left, right, and centre, and all that. Like, Saka was not fit for that game. What was he doing? Why was he not on the? Why didn't he do the warm up straight away? Why was he delayed on the warm ups? Because he's being strapped up or having whatever. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's poxy decision.
Can we chat about City?
On your point, George. Just very quickly. On that point about not underestimating Lons and we should have rocked up. My call for rotation has nothing to do with Lons because if you guys remember, I actually called for a little bit of rotation ahead of Bournemouth as well. My call for rotation is because I do not believe that you can expect full 10 out of 10 performance from your best players throughout a whole 38 league campaign and then all the other competitions if you play them time and time and time again. And the key thing isn't just consecutive starts. Javi, who comes on full time, made a great point that Pep Guardiola takes players off quite early if the game is wrapped up and if they're in a position where you can give them a rest. Now, we heard so many people in the comment section on full time saying, yeah, but look how many starts Haaland's had. Look how many starts Rodri's had. Look at all this. I looked at the numbers today for Tactical Insight. Not one player in the Premier League for Man City last season, bar Edison, the goalkeeper, hit over 3,000 minutes of football. Bukayo Saka got to 3,200. Now, that's maybe 3 extra games on top of that. But the point I'm making is, especially when you look at the wingers, far more shared. De Bruyne around 1,500, Grealish around 1,300, 1,400. That's the key point. And even if they were to get somewhere near that, you're looking at players that are experienced, that have been there, that have done it. Bukayo Saka was new to a title race last season. He was new to a Champions League run-in the year before. This is all new and fresh for him. And it's not just physically overwhelming and demanding, it's mentally overwhelming and demanding. And how many players are we turning to get us out of trouble when things aren't going right for Arsenal, when the pressure of the Emirates Stadium and the fans on? Bukayo Saka is one of the players we're looking to. So I feel sorry for him.
100%. And also, James, which is another point, like Martinelli is just as much key as Saka. I really do now he's been out of the team, how much have we missed him? But he was always being taken off 10, 15 minutes from the end. Always being the one to be taken off. Never Saka. they're both as important as each other. And now going into City, we haven't got one of them.
You're right. So that whole argument, where your best players play the lion's share of minutes anyway. Well, he's not treating Martinelli the same way as Saka.
But we can't have it both ways. I'm sure I've heard Arsenal fans complaining about Martinelli constantly being taken off. The Arsenal fan base are always saying, "Why is he always coming off?"
Because it's not balanced. It's Martinelli off again when he was playing better than Saka or whatever, or once again we're cruising it. Martinelli who's taken off to get the rest when he's firing and everything's good, and Saka once again has to go all the way to 90 minutes. It's just like let's reduce it to these simple facts. He came off 2 Premier League games in a row injured, and then he started this game, and he's come off injured again. So everyone who had doubts going into this game about whether Saka should play were proven right. End of discussion done. That's it.
And if you're of the, because you make a great point before we move on to Man City, if you're of the belief that you play your best team in the main competitions, like Jordan just said, then we look back to Bournemouth, 53rd minute, Kai Havertz steps up, scores a penalty. Why didn't he take him off? So even if you do. Yeah, so either or, Arteta his decision making has been crazy recently, because he could have taken him off, he didn't. He gets injured and then he starts him. So we can go all day about this, because we've lost a game in the Champions League against a team that really we should be beating, and not a joke of a team, but we should be beating. And we move on to a team that we haven't beaten for a hell of a long time.
And Turkish, and I want to stress that it's really the Saka stuff. It's the not understanding the Havertz stuff. That's the frustration. The fact we lost the game to Lens, I'm really quite chill about it. I genuinely am. It's annoying. Yeah. We should have done better. Life, it happens. Bad results happen. Players have off days. We didn't look great. Lens were very good. Credit to them. Really, it's not the end of the world. And I want people to understand that before they think, oh, 1 defeat and you're all ranting. We've been talking about Havertz before. We've been talking about Saka's fitness before. This is overspill from previous frustrations that are only being proven more right now, and I hope we end up wrong. If Saka plays on the weekend on Sunday and he's brilliant, fantastic. If Havertz ends up being the guy, fantastic. The Lens defeat, I really what are you got?
He's gone.
Also, which is
understand where the frustration before people just label you with this, you lost, so you're all moaning.
You're back.
The other thing is, Ben White got rested for yesterday's game, right? You play your best team and all. He wasn't rested in the Carabao Cup. He played in that game, and then you rest him for the Champions League game, which everybody says is play your best team in it, And there he is running out at Brentford, and he's not playing this game. I just think there was decisions there yesterday that I'm scratching my head, and I have to agree with James. Do you know what? We can get through this group. The defeat, it didn't hurt me I actually going to be really honest about it. I was hurting more of a draw against Spurs than that yesterday. I'll be be really honest. So it ain't the end of the world, but you've got to flag up what's going on with Arteta at the moment. It's not looking good. It is not looking good at the moment.
We need to talk about City because we're an hour in, and I think there's quite a lot of things to say about this game because it's a massive game. First of all, if Saka's 75% fit, do you guys start him?
Yes, because you got England after this. He's got 2 weeks off.
I'd say yes, but the reality is I don't see us picking up a win whether Saka starts or not.
Which makes the whole thing for me, the whole need to rest him in the Lens game for the Man City game, more relevant. City can smoke us.
Because if you had a fit Saka going into it, someone that has had a week's rest, and then Martinelli maybe comes back into the fray at some point.
You got a better chance.
You got a much better chance, but right now it looks like no Martinelli. It looks like no Partey, if I'm honest with you.
Saka's not playing, by the way. He's got a hamstring injury. You know what I mean? I've done that before, trying to back you and tweaked my hamstring. You ain't coming back in a week.
But, you know what I mean? But Lee, you know what? I don't think he'll play either. But for me, I don't see this as the whole disaster that everyone else. Saka's our best player. I get it. You've got a better chance of beating City in a game you really kind of have to win with him than without him. I get it. But we've all been praising all I heard about a month ago. The bench looks great. Look at the squad depth we've got now. We've got Trossard. We've got Smith Rowe back. We've got 2 great goalkeepers. We've got this and that. So I'm looking and thinking, okay, if we've got this great squad, but I'm just saying we can't 1 minute be praising the depth
but
of
we
the
haven't
squad.
got your best 2 players, Jordan. Our best 2 players in attacking areas.
Get on with it, Lee.
All right. No. You this is my argument about Jordan. You're going into this game now, which is massive, right? Yeah, without Martinelli and without Saka, right? And possibly now without Jesus playing in his better position, like, you know what I mean? The front 3 would be them 3. And that if that was my front 3 fully fit, right, we would have a great chance of winning that game, right? Now, I looked at it on that. At least have 2 of them out there, Jordan. At least have 2 of them out.
I get that. I get that.
He didn't do that. Now we're going in there with a front 3. I'm telling you of it now, of Trossard, Jesus probably playing wide right, Eddie or Havertz up front. That is nowhere near at the level that we would have had 2 weeks ago. Like, you know,
Man City could argue their 3 best players. They could argue their 3 best players are also missing, and they're away from home.
We've had that for 3 or 4 times, and we've now gone into this game where we could have possibly been without one of our better players in Martinelli, but now you know, I mean, our 2 best wide players, our 2 attacking options.
I get it. I'm saying you could argue Stones, De Bruyne, and Rodri.
Stones. Okay, yeah.
They're all out.
I've got a bold prediction.
Say that again.
Saka, Partey, Martinelli all start on Sunday. That's my bold prediction.
I wouldn't play Saka.
So on that question, right? Going against everything I've just ranted about, City are the anomaly. I think he is worth playing in this game.
100%.
And you do what you got to do to get him out on that pitch, even for 65 minutes. Because he caused Akanji a load of problems at Wembley, and I want to see that again. The reason Arteta's got this thing sometimes, I don't know how many times he's done it, maybe not even that often, but I just have a feeling that the Lens result will have hurt. I think he'll know that this Man City game with Rodri and De Bruyne missing is a massive opportunity. And I think he'll look at Martinelli and go, are you fit to play? Martinelli's going to say yes. Of course he is. He's going to go, yeah, I'm ready. Right, you're in. Saka, let me, whatever you need. Can you give me an hour? Of course, boss. Saka, part of the reason I think he keeps playing is because Saka keeps saying he's fine to play. He's in there. Thomas Partey will look at him and go, my friend, I need you, with Rice. And Partey will go, yeah, let's do it. Like I'm convinced he's going to just say there's an international break coming. Can you guys give me this? And I think they will. I think they'll all go out. And I actually think we're going to beat City.
I think it's a huge game for us because I think, you know, the smart money is on us losing at the Etihad, right? So you got to beat them at home. If you're going to win the title this season, you got to get 3 points at home. I don't even think a draw is a good result. I don't think a draw is a good result.
Not a bad one, but it's not.
It's not a bad result, but I don't think it's a good result. So you're going into this game where I'm looking, Saka and all that, fair enough. Do you know what I'm looking to in this game? Mikel Arteta. His record against Manchester City is shocking. It's really bad. And you spent a lot of money in the summer. You've got your biggest game of the season so far. You can go above City. They're without 3 of their best players. This is the time where I'm looking for Mikel Arteta to do something different. Do something different, because what you've done before against Manchester City, it hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked. So he's the person I'm focusing on. I agree with Lee. I thought he got a lot of things wrong in the last 2 games, even despite beating Bournemouth. There were things in that game I thought he got wrong, but cool. But this is the game where I'm saying, Mikel Arteta, you're now 3 years into your Arsenal tenure. We've seen a nice trajectory of progress over that time. This is the time at home where they're missing some of their key players. You have to show me you can do this. I don't want to hear an excuse about Saka's not fit. I don't want to hear that. I need you to step up. I need him to step up. I need the Emirates to be rocking. I need it to be absolutely bouncing. We have to win this game. I don't think we really understand how big a game this is. We have to win this game because City won't lose many games this season, you know. They won't lose many games. Yeah, so if we can't beat them at home, forget about it. We're fighting for second.
My worry is that leading up to this game, and when we talk about by design, we are a more controlling side. Are we really gonna go and face City and try and control them with this young side? That could be the worst thing we do. So this ego I'm seeing and this arrogance, it needs to be slowed down a little, because the reality is even a great Liverpool team had to make tweaks to the way they played against Manchester City. And when you look at the Liverpool team that managed to win games against City and compete with City, or even Tottenham over the years, they've both executed counter-attacks to a T. And big up James, because Tactical Insights come out and he mentions counter-attack. So I won't go too much into it. I want everyone to go over and watch Tactical Insight, because it was definitely an interesting one this week, following the poor performance against London. But we have no fluidity. We're lacking chance creation, all at the expense of trying to control games more and more defensive security. When the reality is, we're conceding it's not an abundance of goals, but we've conceded a fair few goals this season. I don't see our defense looking stronger than it did last season. Our attack definitely doesn't look as strong as it did last season. And our midfield, the same can be said about there. Even in goal right now, we're going to debate where we've just debated for the last 2, 3, 4 shows, whether it should be Raya, it should be Ramsdale. So right now, all over the pitch, there isn't one area that's performing. There's one player, and that's Rice. But there's not one area of the pitch where we are performing well enough for me to think, whether it's at the Etihad, at the Emirates, or Wembley Stadium, we can beat Manchester City over 90 minutes.
So I feel we've got a blessing in disguise on this game, like, you know what I mean? And I do think Rodri being out of this game is a massive boost for us. If he plays in this game, if he was playing on Sunday, I'm saying City. He is that key to them. They are vulnerable when he's not in the team. They were vulnerable at Wolves the other day, like, because I think they lost the midfield, and I think they got caught on in midfield on 3 or 4 occasions and got punished twice. If we can dominate that area, then
Wolves were quick with their attacks.
Yes, this is where I think Martinelli. I think James could have a point here that Martinelli comes in. If he is fit, he's key to this, because you got that pace. And do you know what? If Saka's not playing, play Nelson on the other side. You know what I mean? Like pace down the flanks. They couldn't handle it, but Wolves broke on them from winning the ball in midfield. Rodri doesn't do that. He's a very, very good ball retainer. And sets things up for them, like, be very interesting who they go with. I don't know who they went with today. Did Phillips play today or not? Like,
Rodri played because it's Champions League.
Oh, of course he did. Yes.
But they played Rico Lewis.
And how did they get on? They
3-1.
You know what I mean? So Rodri is an important player in that side. This is the best chance you've got. Forget about De Bruyne. You've got De Bruyne out as well, but this is your time, Arsenal. And this is the one. Well, that's why I'm fuming about the Saka thing. But I think that this is. I think the key is that midfield area. I really do. I'm backing Arsenal to win this game.
I'm looking forward to predictions. Very, very looking forward to seeing what you say.
Well, we know what Jordan.
Well, one question before we do.
No, you don't actually. You don't, Lee. So just pipe down over there, mate. All right.
All right. Oh, hey!
One question before predictions, and I want to ask and just get a short answer from each of you, because we're already over time. How big is this game on Sunday?
Go on, each go, Jordan.
I'll go quickly. I think it's huge. I think it's huge. I think we came close last year to win the title, but never got close to City in the 3 games. I think to show that we are progressing, to show the investment in money has been worth it, to show bringing in Declan Rice has been worth it, David Raya in, I think we have to win this game. I think if we don't win this game, I just think we're fighting for second. So I think it's a massive game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it now, and I'm with Jordan on it. Lose this game, we won't win the league. Win this game, I'm not saying we're going to win it, but we've got a chance. But if we lose it, we're not winning the league.
You bowled it there a little bit there.
I think it's big, but I don't think it's season defining.
Okay. Premier League season defining.
More.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Turkish? Shameless. What are you going for?
I don't think it is season defining, even Premier League season defining. But I also predicted Manchester City to win the league anyway. So it's like Jordan said, I feel like we're fighting for second, and I haven't seen anything in the first 10, 11 games to say otherwise yet.
The reason why I think it's season defining is because I just think psychologically the team needs to know that they can beat City. They just need to know if they can beat City, they can go into all the other games. Yeah, they can go into the Liverpool game, the Chelsea. Well, we beat Chelsea anyway, but we can go to all the big games this season knowing we've already beaten City. And I think also it shows the rest of the league that I know Wolves beat them, but that could be a freak, a one-off. If we then go and beat them, I think it shows Tottenham, United, Chelsea that this team actually is impregnable. I think we need to beat them just for our own psychology. If we lose to them again, especially at home, what does that say about our progress? I think it's a massive game. I think it is seeing them. I think if we lose the game, I think we're done already.
All right, let's bring up the prediction table and make the predictions. Obviously, we discussed deductions earlier, so this is how the league table is looking at the moment.
Yeah, we're pulling away. We're pulling away, Turkish. We're pulling away. Pulling away.
Listen,
Lovely.
I've said it before. I've got no standards. I'm not in the title race. Turkish Jordan, I wish you the best of luck. I'm here for one thing only, and that's a top 3 finish. I didn't have a big budget to work
from
with over
bottom.
the summer. I'm not, I couldn't get the signings I needed. I'm just all about finishing above my bottom tier rival here.
And I don't want people to think, oh, he was waiting for Lee to be late. He was so eager. Look, I had the original table, how it should have been prior to lateness. Then I made a 1-point deduction for both James and Lee there. And then the 10-minute counter hit. And the time was
How
fine for
often
another.
deducted those points when we've been out to, you know what I mean, is a joke. An absolute joke. And I'll tell you that now. Jordan, you're coming back from Manchester on
Liverpool.
Right? You can up yours, the 12 o'clock. We're going back to the original 10 o'clock. All right. And we get on there at 12 o'clock.
It's been agreed.
No.
It's been agreed. It's been
I'm having
agreed.
it like that. I mean, we'll see you at 10. I'll be there at 10 o'clock, all right, and I'll be waiting like that. I mean,
At the end of the season, they'll be debating what was the biggest scandal, this one or Liverpool versus Tottenham last weekend. What was the bigger outrage? Lee losing 2 points, or
I need is
or
Jordan
Diaz goal being disallowed.
I need Jordan to lose.
It's not that I've overslept. I've been out. You know what I mean? For a function, I think it's absolute liberties. And we've agreed on a time and all that. And do you know what? I'll put it in my. I'll put this right, Jordan, in my messages today.
You did it to me for.
Right? I'm going to get it up while we're here.
You beefing with me for? I don't make the rules.
I've just realised,
guys. Can we make it? I'm going back from. Oh no, sorry, I'm back from Liverpool Sunday. Can we make it 12 o'clock? I'm happy to stay up late for you, Jordan. Was my exact words. Well, now I'm putting bollocks. BOLLOCKS.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've just realised the feeling I've got. This is what relegation candidates must feel like when they've lost 1-0 on the Saturday, but then the relegation rivals lost 5-0 and their goal difference is worse. You know what I mean? Like you kind of look back at it on it's a good weekend. That's how I feel. I've gained a point here.
What did you say before the stream went live? Before Lee even got here, it's like us losing to Lens and then seeing United lost to Galatasaray and trying to look at the positive of it all.
We're coming away with something.
Oh, one. When Cash rang me, I should have just said, bollocks, I'll take 3 points. And I will do next time. I'm fuming. Absolutely fuming that I've been, you know what I mean, like, and telling them all as well that I will be at a birthday party, like, you know what I mean, like, nil.
He likes pulling on the heartstrings. When it was time to deduct me points, he's talking about Michelle in a bathroom. now he's talking about a child's birthday. And someone get a violin out right now. We'll start doing something here. But it doesn't change the order of things. We still go from top to bottom. And for the audio listeners out there, I'm on 8 points. Jordan's on 8 points. Only one correct score separates us, so I'm top. James is on 6 points now, having had 1 point deduction. And Lee's on 5 points, having had a 2
But
point
crucially,
deduction.
1 point ahead of Lee.
Well, you heard it from James. Hit the like button, people. 1,000 likes. We should be there now. Hour 15 minutes in. It was meant to be an hour pod, but with a lot to talk about, we thought we'd extend it a little bit. So show some love to the video. Make sure you leave your comments. We're going to move into the comments of the day from the last show. Right after this, prediction time, 2-1 Man City.
You guys have been talking a lot about the wingers we've got, causing them problems. I think you're forgetting how good their fullbacks are. Kanji. We talk about having
positivity. You approach.
No, I'm just kind of talking through it. I just think We talk about having one of the best young defenders in Europe. I think Akanji might have something to say about that as well. I'm a massive Akanji fan. I'm going 1-0 City. 1-0 City. I don't trust Jesus in front of goal. I don't trust Zinchenko at left back. I think the midfield is not working properly.
Didn't you act like you was going to predict the win for Arsenal or something?
No. I just said you don't know what I'm going to say, Lee. And, you know,
just so you know, Akanji's 28. Just
28. Okay.
He's 28. I thought I
Is he
might
28?
check that one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know he was that old.
He should have a point deducted for
Lee's got a big chip on his shoulder right
He
now.
does.
I know Saliba's one of the best young defenders
Is
in
he
Europe,
28?
but Cannavaro would have something to say about that.
Maldini might want to, you know.
I've done
Thiago
myself there.
Silva.
I've done
like,
myself
probably
there.
the best young
I've
player
done myself
in the
there.
league.
I've done myself.
Thiago Silva.
I've done myself there. Done myself.
Oh, not
I
for the
think
first
it's like
time.
Gavardiol.
Oh, yeah.
Gavardiol's like the you know,
I
but
thought Kanji was young.
Kanji. Really?
At least
He's still brilliant.
Jordan's I think is shit. Kanji's the next Kaka.
Oh God! Let's end the stream. End the stream.
Jordan, I love you so much. Man.
I'm a mess.
You
Go
killed
on,
me.
James.
I'm feeling good about this game because I'm delusional and fuck it, why not? I think we're going to win 3-1. I think Partey, Saka, and Martinelli are all going to start. I think this is. I really hope and I really believe this can be a coming of age moment for Arsenal.
3-1. Lee.
I was going to go 3-2, but I'm going to change my mind and go 2-1.
2-1 Arsenal. So the top
So if we're
two.
2-1 up, I'm desperately hoping for a third goal, and Lee's just hoping that everyone fluffs their lines and that we hold on.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that. So me and Jordan have both gone for Man City win. I've gone 2-1 City. Jordan's gone 1-0 City. James has gone 3-1 Arsenal, and Lee's gone 2-1 Arsenal. So it could be.
It'll be a draw now. It'll be a draw now. Watch.
It could be all change.
Yeah.
It could be same as come
Wow.
the next show. Don't forget, people.
Actually, like if we do win 2-1, like there's going to be a fucking war. I'll tell you, going on like that, because that would actually make me top. All right, with these points deducted, I am going to war with you three.
What about my points though? I'd be clear if I didn't get deducted points.
If we win 2-1, right, put that table up again, right. If we win 2-1, it gets me 3 points. Yeah, and would put me on the 8.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, plus the 2 that I would have would put me on the 10.
And the 3 that I would have had, I'd be on 11.
Yeah, but yours should have been taken up. You should have had all your points taken up. You know what I mean? Realistically, like you know, I mean, you don't even turn up to shows, and you've got.
Low
But
blow.
anyway, like you know, we should say, like you know,
Should we do? Go on, Lee. Sorry.
I'm sure that there'll be a few sympathetic people in the chats.
Oh, you're looking for the sympathy.
No, I ain't. You know what I mean? I will win it, and I'll win it despite you 3 slippery bastards.
Say no.
Jordan, are you the only person not to have any points deducted ever?
Yeah, because he's the one that fucking puts them at 8 a.m. every day.
Yeah,
it's almost midnight.
No, and then the other thing is, right, with Jordan, slippery up there.
Jesus Christ,
He changes it all to suit his agenda, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, let's make it 12 o'clock. And like Mary, we you know, I don't want to be doing 12 o'clock.
No, Jordan politely asked me.
When have I ever said 12
absolutely
o'clock?
Fine.
Oh, you mean midnight? You mean midnight? Okay, sorry.
This one was supposed to be 11 o'clock today, and I thought, oh, that's fantastic. Then someone, probably him up there, because he's got to be up early for his Channel 4 news, right? Put it down.
No. I'm coming back from Liverpool. I don't get back till about half.
Who changed it from 11 till 10 this time?
What, to today's one?
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
I don't think it got changed.
It was 11 o'clock at one stage.
I think it was actually.
I actually don't know who's responsible for that. So,
well, whoever's responsible for it was still agreed. Whoever did suggest it. So,
agreed.
Well, I didn't really actually agree. I casually said I should be back in time. You know what I mean? But listen, it's done now.
Should we have a bit of fun and just say like extra point forgets the first goal scorer?
Turkish, can you do Wednesday 10 p.m. to put it to you, Jordan? So it was 11 p.m. Then it went to Jordan, but can you do 10 p.m? So that's fucking, it's shameless that changed it. Like, and
Hey, go take it to the PGMOL, my guy. They're under pressure. Anyway.
Let's get the audio in here, like, you know what I mean?
I don't think you want to hear the audio, mate. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked.
I don't know what the audio was like. Oh, Lee's going to take his daughter out for a meal, like, so let's put it at 10 o'clock. Let's fuck him up, like, yeah, all right then, like, yeah.
Nah.
That's the audio.
Yeah,
we should do that actually.
Let's fuck him up. What a quote.
Let's move on. Let's move on, people.
I'll tell you what, and like you got him over here like the old snake bite there. He's just happy that he don't come bloody bottom there. So what you know what I mean? That's how pitless he is. Like, you know what I mean?
I've never hid my shamelessness.
Oh, I know you haven't. Actually, your shameless has come out tenfold over the last couple of weeks.
Look, I've said I'm here for one thing only. That's the top three.
Another thing, I ain't got a comment of the week.
I'll
tell you what.
Yeah.
Another point.
Another point there. Go on, dock me another point.
That was the rule. I think the rule was you get docked a point if you don't have one.
I think it was.
I think we agreed that.
I'm gonna be the bigger man here and say, Lee, no more dock points. I don't like seeing you like
bigger
this.
man.
Yeah,
I expect you to have my back.
You've even got me swearing now, like, you know what I mean? It's an absolute joke.
I've got your back too. We'll allow this one. You were out for your birthday. You know, Michelle's in the bathroom. We'll allow you.
Lee's raging.
You're gonna look for sympathy in the same comment section that you don't bother looking at after shows to get comments of the day. Can you imagine?
They can go well and all. Like, if they think this is right, I will never do no more comments. I'm on comment strike.
I've got a comment. James, Jordan,
I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Can I start? Because mine's on the topic.
Go for it.
So my one's from Ramos. He says, Lee not paying Turkish is disgraceful. I used to think he was the old classy Arsenal guy, but he honestly doesn't bring any value, not even the one he owes. Then he goes and brags about going to these games. Pay your debt, mate. And just a reminder, Lee, it's 5 shows I've made on time now. So
yeah,
bank transfers.
And who's that from?
Ramos.
Up yours.
Lee, that is an avid follower of the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, go to Tactical Insight then. He's welcome there, like, you know what I mean?
Ramos, you're welcome to Tactical Insight community whenever you want.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry about Lee.
Go on, who's up next?
I'll go next. I've got a quick one. User ZP5D just long. I know you always get onto Jordan for how early the podcast is recorded, but I appreciate it, especially on a Monday morning. It's out and I can listen to it on my way to work. It's appreciated. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, user ZP something 57G whatever.
I have got a comment. I remembered it.
Oh, he's
Here we go. Here we go.
I remember it now. I've just gone through my photos and I did take it, like, you know what I mean?
Go on.
No, I do apologise to the chat.
What, no more of this, Lena?
No, look, what is his name? Ramos, so he can get double barrel weekend. Right, you know what I mean? Big 6 wanker, that's what he is.
Hey, take my show's name out your mouth. Take my show's name.
He's one of those followers, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean?
It's way too late.
Super chat Ramos. I can guarantee this. Super chat Ramos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Before even watch James, this is James 5205. Before even watching the show, I predicted that Jordan would not like the Kai Havertz chance. Really not even understanding it. Brilliant. You know what I mean? Like,
it's shit.
Guys, I'm with him on that.
I think I am right.
We got one from Michael Hollingsworth. Lovely to see Arsenal sharing the penalties around. I heard Stuart McFarlane's up for the next one, followed by Win.
It's my club. I fucking love this club. Can I take the next penalty?
Oh, mate.
Win taking a pre-match.
And
Listen, I'm all for seeing at the Emirates at half-time. You know, God forbid we're losing the North London derby 2-0 and Win is brought out for the half-time penalties against Gunnosaurus. If that ever happens, someone get a camera on Turkish right there and then.
Please don't. Please don't. You know,
that would break the internet.
Since I've mentioned Win, people don't stop going on about it, for God's sake. So I'm trying.
You gave that dog more PR than the club ever did.
I've been clipped no end with that, but yeah. All right, cool. Comments of the day done, predictions done, discussion done. We are back after the Manchester City game. We'll be recording Sunday night, straight after the game. So
about 10 o'clock.
Something like that. Something like that. So the emotions are going to be raw, win, lose, or draw. I know people like the ones that we do straight after games as well as the ones on Monday morning. Well, we're going to record it after the game and we're going to release it Monday morning. So it's a win-win. And I ain't talking about the dog. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Jordan, Lee, James, pleasure as always. We've nearly hit an hour and a half, so I'm hoping to hit 1,000 likes by the time you've watched this video, people. So have a check, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, show some love to the channel, and obviously show some love to Lee Judges TV, James B, Channel 4.
Also, I'm on TalkSport. When this comes out, it'll be tonight. So I'm on TalkSport, 10 p.m. Sports Bar. Big up the Arsenal. Check me out.
Check you out. When tonight?
What if? Shut up, you. Shut up. If I don't even know what you said there, but
he'd rather watch Tactical Insight.
Oh well, that's no need for that. There's no need for that.
No need for that. Maybe I'll watch the Big Six then. There you go. Like, yeah.
Oh jeez.
Hey, keep your eyes off that show, man. I don't want to hear that show out of your mouth anymore. Lee, James, Jordan, we're going to wrap it up here. People, hope you've enjoyed another pod. It wasn't the result we wanted against Lons. The big Saka injury. Hopefully he's back for City. Leave us your predictions in the comment section below. Leave us your thoughts on the discussions that we have had tonight. And leave us the lineup too. Without Saka, who would you play in this position? I'm going to check the comments. I'm sure a few of us will. And we'll be back after the Manchester City game. Love for the love. Hit the like button. We're out, people. Peace.